In this video, we'll take a look at Nextech's student interface. When a student first launches their project, they're presented with the screen you see now. This is a live coding environment that runs entirely in the browser, so there's no need for the student to download anything. This allows the student to quickly get started with the skill they are learning, removing barriers that might otherwise limit their success. This interface has been divided into two parts. On the left is what we call the learning side, where the student can find their project's instructions and interactive tasks for them to complete. On the right is what we call the doing side, where the student can write code and interact with it as they work through their project. We built this interface by looking at tools used by software developers and removing many features that aren't necessary in a learning environment. This results in a tool that is much simpler to use, but serves as a stepping stone to the tools the student will one day use as a software developer when they get their first job. Let's look at an example of how a student might use this interface. Once the student opens their project, they typically start by reading through the instructions. As they read through the instructions, they may be presented with code examples and interactive tasks to complete. Once presented with a task, a student reads the instructions for the task and performs the work on the right. Once they've written the code, they can execute their program by clicking the Run button. Once they're happy with the result, they can attempt the task. The student receives an immediate message from Cody, a coding bot that presents a friendly mechanism for delivering feedback. Now, let's try attempting a task, but failing to complete it on the first go. If they haven't completed it successfully, they're provided with feedback they can use to finish their project. They then complete the task and receive positive reinforcement through another message from Cody. The student can also view a list of all the tasks in their project outside of the instructions. This is often used when assessing the student instead of teaching them a new skill. From here, they can also submit their project for a grade. They can also quickly jump into workspace mode, which frees up screen real estate for them to continue working on their project. If necessary, the student can create new files to work with. They can also create additional tabs. If they'd like, they can share their project with others or download it for use in another tool. They can also change various project settings, such as the interface theme. And finally, they can browse in project help if they get stuck. Here the student is provided with help in both text and video form. This has been a short introduction to some of the functionality a student may see in their Nextech programming environment.